Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live, and this is episode 203 of my show. This guest that is coming on the show tonight holds a very special place in my heart. This will be his second appearance on my show. His first appearance was episode 107, which was August 2021. So 2 years later, he's coming back on my show. Singer, songwriter, and guitarist Corey Ward. So he was inspired to do music by his father. He won Hearts on season 20 of NBC's hit show The Voice. Team Kelly Clarkson. He finished in the top 9. He released his latest single, Kisses and Coffee, on August 18th. There's a lot of people in the house, so thank you guys for hanging out with us. And Corey has a lot of cool things and he's coming on my show to talk about this evening. So Corey, whenever you're ready, come on in. Let's get this party started. And hello. Where are you guys tuning in from tonight? And how long have you been a fan of Corey? Tell me in the comments. We are live. That's the fun of Instagram Live. We're live and in the moment. And Corey is also here. Corey, thank you so much for coming back on my show.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. I love doing this and love supporting you and hanging out.
This is your second time on my show. Fun. I actually saw that you were on episode 107, which was August of 2021. That's like over 2 years.
Yeah, it's been it's crazy to think about, but it's a long time ago now, and to a point where it's hard to find my audition on YouTube now because they have to make space for the artist. So it's crazy,
right? It's wild
that it's over 2 years now.
I'm so happy that you're on this journey with me. Yeah. I'm on this journey with you. We're able to connect. You have so many incredible things that have been going on with you. So how's everything going?
Everything's great. Honestly, it's been a journey and a long ride of different things, shows, writing, but life is really probably my favorite point right now. I'm very happy with everything in life and where I'm at, musically, relationally, in every way. I couldn't be happier.
Yes, we love to hear that. Thriving, putting out new music, and just you're doing it.
Trying to just keep grinding, playing shows as much as possible. I've been a lot of shows since The Voice, so since last time you and I talked.
That's the thing. It's like even in the year 2023, I mean, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, you've been able to keep that momentum of The Voice, right? You played so many live shows this year. What is one of your most memorable live performances and why?
Well, can I go back to I'm gonna say two, and I'll be quick with it. But the first one is the very first like full man show after The Voice is one of my most memorable ones, and that's because it was a sold out show. People drove 15 hours to come see me from like Michigan and Ohio, just all over, and it was crazy. And it was just me for 3 hours. That's all they listened to. So it was wild. So that was one of my favorite memories, having a sold out show. People drove that far, and meeting fans. I had a meet and greet that lasted like over an hour, and it was really cool. And then recently, not to jump the gun, but of course, one of my favorite memories now is getting to play 2 shows with Glenn Hansard and Marquetta of the Swell season. Those were, I'll never forget. I even got a tattoo.
Okay, so is the tattoo a ticket of the show?
Yeah, you saw that quick. Yeah, it's so it's SS for Swell season 23 for 2023 tour, and the 2 numbers on the end are the
Yeah.
zip codes of the cities that we played in. So it's
Yes,
like a
I
little
love
ticket.
that
So
you got a
yeah,
tattoo to remind yourself of that because it's just such a was a huge, huge deal for you. And I love that you said your two favorite shows were right after The Voice, but then the ones that you did in August with. So can we
yeah,
talk about that experience and how you were able to open for him for 2 nights?
yeah. So it's crazy. So the whole reason I was able to open for the Swell season is because Marquetta specifically saw me on the Kelly Clarkson show, and we sang, Kelly and I, one of their songs
Yeah.
from the movie Once that won like Oscars and all these things. Um, and she messaged me just saying, "Wow, I love this rendition. I've seen a lot. A lot of them are great." She goes, "I really love what you guys did." And then she reached out saying, "Hey, would you love to do a song together?" And I was, of course, yes, say less. Of course I would. And then that became, I would love if you could, we're coming to the U.S., to open for a couple of cities when we come over there. Pick some cities that you'd like to do. And so I picked where I live now, which is Durham, North Carolina, and then Washington, D.C., which isn't too far either. Um, and I got to play some of the most beautiful venues and
Yeah.
largest live concerts I've ever
That's
played in my
amazing
life.
that you
So,
had that
yeah.
experience. And it was because your appearance on the Kelly Clarkson show, and they're just like, yes, so
Yes, ma'am.
amazing. Like, we want to work with you. And I think when you're on TV, you get that kind of exposure, right? And people see you and they're just like, oh my gosh, Corey, you're so amazing. Like, I just love that you've been on some pretty big shows and you've gotten that exposure. And people, you're meeting new fans
Yeah.
and making new fans every day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed to get to do what I do. I do this full time now. Um, and it is an honor to be able to do this. And whether that is, an acoustic show at a local bar over here or a large venue in Washington, D.C., I love music too much to not just quit if it doesn't look or feel what I thought it should. I'm always going to do it, whether it's at the lowest of lows or the highest of peaks. Um, so I'm very blessed to
Yeah.
be where I am and do what I've done and
Yeah.
have
And they've
fans
been with you for
that I have.
such a long time. I said this to you before. Your fans are ride or die. Like, they will like just scream from the rooftops for you. And I love that. It's so genuine and heartfelt. Like, what does that make you feel like?
I've said this many times that I believe out of the shows, and maybe I'm biased, and forgive me if I offend anyone, but I believe that my fans from like The Voice are the best because they have been ride or die. They have seen me at my lowest. They've seen me at my highest, so to speak, and they never fail to support. I mean, Hannah's on here, Amy's on here. I mean, I can name them. Sophia could be on here. Um, just so many accounts or Corey Ward fan pages and stuff. Uh, and I've gotten to meet a lot of them. And words will never be able to express my gratitude for that. So, like, when you ask, what does
Yeah.
it mean? I'll never be able to explain it other than continue to do what I do in hopes that it may help someone in some way throughout life. And just make sure that I always give back and that I am available and approachable whenever I can be. So it means the world to me. I have the best fans. I'll put them against anyone, and they will win. So, yeah, it means more than I could ever say. But I'm very blessed once again, and yeah, shout out to them now, like
Shout
Hannah right now,
out
and
to all
a
of
lot of
Corey's
others.
fans here live with us in this moment. And that's so very powerful because I mean, I feel like you said earlier, you're going to do this in the highs and the lows. You're just going to continue to do this. And when you have fans that ride for you, it just takes it to a whole nother level because you actually are able to put a name and a face to these fans. And these fans are like, and he helped me through this and he helped me through that. And like, you're the soundtrack to their lives.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of what we get to do is like somehow what I do sometimes affects people so massively that it like I've had people, and it's nothing. I'll take zero credit in the sense that I'm no one special. I'm just doing what I love. But it's a massive blessing to have stories where people just tell me like, "Hey, you changed my life. Like you saved my life." Where like, and that it seems very arrogant, and I don't. I'm just repeating what was told to me. Is the fact that like just my vulnerability or honesty or like just being who I am has allowed other people to feel that they could or chase a dream even or whatever that may look like. I'm a firm believer in just being true to who you are, but also just loving people well, no matter where you are, because you never know what people are going through ever. So,
so by no means do I think that's arrogance. I think it's just, I think the fact that you've been so vulnerable and honest in a world where there's a lot of perfection, if you will, right? There's a lot of people like trying to perfect something and like pretending they're somebody they're not. But I think your vulnerable honesty, because right, we all go through stuff. But when the people that we love go through something similar and your music is very emotional and very vulnerable and people are like, oh my gosh, I went through that too, but guess what, Corey went through it, you know.
I think most people, one of the hardest things that we struggle with as just human beings is feeling alone in what we're going through and our own battles in our head, right? And you see more and more people singing about that and talking about it because it's real. And that's the thing that I think is just crazy. Like I said, you never know what people are going through, but you got to just, I don't know, just be, I don't know. I feel called to be vulnerable and just, I don't know, share it through music.
Amazing. And we appreciate you for that. So let's talk about these two incredible singles that you released last month, Tell Me and Kisses and Coffee. So let's break both of them down. I want to know the inspiration behind these songs and then what they mean to you.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll write a song that is very personal and like something I lived through. Like Love Note is about my girlfriend. Like that is true and true our story. But Tell Me is a mixture of me living through it, but also just knowing that people go through it, right? Because you always want to be relatable. So Tell Me is basically where you're in a relationship that's pulling away, but you're just not ready to say like bye to each other. So you're like, all right, just tell me what I need to hear. Tell me what I want to hear. Like, tell me you love me, even if it's a lie right now, because, I can feel that we're pulling, but I don't want it to. So like, at least just make me feel good about it. So, it's kind of the separation of a relationship, but you don't really want it to happen, but it's probably best that it happens. But you're like, for right now, tell me all these things, even if it's a lie, so I can feel good right now. So that was kind of that inspiration behind it. And I know a lot of people have felt that. And Kisses and Coffee is kind of like, again, a little inspired by my girlfriend, but also just like I myself. Like the first words is, I'll admit that I'll forget the little things. Yeah. Like I'm terrible at that stuff. And the chorus talks about like, basically give me patience because I'm still learning how to do this thing called love. And me being 37, I'm 37. It took me till my 30s and still now, like still learning how to love, to return love, to receive love, all that stuff. So that's what that was inspired for, is like, I'll admit I'm forgetting the little things, but like I'm learning from you how you're loving me, but be patient with me at the same time. So, and that's a demo. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to put that out. It's not a complete song, but I think people will like it. It's a little bubbly, like different than what I normally do. But I was proud of it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give some fans some,
and I think the fans always love more because all of your songs have different meanings and vulnerability and honesty behind them, right? And so when we talk about, and you're like, so many people can agree, and we've all been in that situation dozens of times, right? Where you're just like, okay, this is not gonna work out, but just please tell me what like I need to hear because it'll make me feel good. But yeah, you're right. Kind of when you're about to separate,
you really do need to separate, because that's the universe telling you, like, this is done. Right?
Yeah, 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 for sure. And it's actually my fastest growing single right now. It's like it's skyrocketing
Yeah.
faster than any other song that I've put
Amazing.
out. So
And
yeah,
then with
it's
Kisses
awesome.
and Coffee, yeah, it is very difficult to love people because, right, like, I'm sure you're familiar with five love languages, right? Yeah. So it's kind of
Oh yeah,
like, so for people that don't
for
know,
sure.
that are here in this chat, it's how someone learns how to love you, whether it's words of affirmation or physical touch or quality time. And it's kind of just like trying to figure out somebody's personality and how they want to be loved, because, like,
Mhm.
your version is not the same as theirs. And, you know, thank you for being honest, being like, sometimes I forget the little things, right? And you're like self-aware of
Yeah,
the fact that you're just like,
yeah,
yeah, so like I just forget little things, like, can't help it, it's just me.
yeah. And that's it's a really, I love that song. But it is for sure, like, I had a friend of mine say, man, I could tell that's you. Like, you had a hard upbringing, and I can tell, like, it takes a lot for you to learn how to love and like how to receive love, because then it took me forever, and I still am learning how to do those things well. And um, being in a relationship, and it's a battle of trying to figure that out, and put yourself aside whenever you know you can be very selfish at times. But the second verse, I gotta admit it, like, it's one of my favorites because it's just a fun little tongue twister thing. It's
Yeah.
like, I'll be sending tulips to you, like, I'll be sending tulips to you just because. Watching movies with that lovey-dovey stuff, it's like, man, like, I'll admit, I love lovey-dovey like movies. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
chick flick guy. I'm not ashamed of that. But like, even if, like, say a guy's not into it, you got to do those things. I'm gonna send you tulips too, just because. Watching movies with that lovey-dovey stuff, even I don't like it. Like, it's the quality time aspect,
Yeah.
learning how to love. Like, that's that love language. I'm gonna spend quality time or gifts or meeting them. But yeah, I think overall, I'm excited for all those songs, and I love
Yeah.
how, I think it's
Yeah.
a cute song. Really, I
And the
think it's a cute song.
compromise of being in a relationship, because sometimes you're just like, I don't want to do this, but I'm just gonna suck it up and do it just because she wants to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and vice versa. I mean, there's a lot of things I've found that I, like, my girlfriend doesn't want to do, and maybe I want to do, but she's got to do that, and it's a whole balancing thing with a relationship, and um, it's really cool to, like, learn and grow in that way, and
Yeah.
I hope I never stop learning
Yeah,
in
and
that. So
constantly
yeah.
learning how to love. So you said you're pretty into rom-com. So, like, do you have any faves?
Oh yeah, definitely maybe is one of them. I know it sounded like I was answering your question, but definitely maybe. It's Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds, of course. Every guy loves Ryan Reynolds, but I think I love that one. That's immediately comes to my head whenever you say
Yeah.
rom coms,
Well,
and that's
okay,
my
men
favorite
love
one.
Ryan Reynolds, but women love him even more.
Yeah, I mean, he's everything. You know what I'm saying? I like. We were talking the other day, and my girlfriend was like, she's like, if you ask your boyfriend, does he love Ryan Reynolds, and he says no, then you should be worried about him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, everyone loves Ryan Reynolds.
we
Like,
all love
it's
him.
amazing.
So I absolutely loved when you reunited with your coach from The Voice, Kelly Clarkson, on her daytime talk show. And I feel like,
Mm.
as somebody who was on Kelly's team on The Voice, you were one of the very few that actually was on the talk show. So how did that whole thing come about?
Yeah, I think it's how
Yeah.
it starts with how you treat people. Um, One thing that I wanted and was definitely honing in on while I was on The Voice was, no matter the circumstances, no matter the outcomes, to make sure that I treat people nice. and treat them well. And that's how it really came about. Because of that, me and a producer grew close.
Yeah.
We just respect for each other. And he was a fan, and we would just chat, and like, you know, we just had mutual respect. And what ended up happening is I just stayed in contact with him. And he also was a part of Kelly Clarkson's show. So because of that, he was like, look, man, if you want to come on here, I'll talk to him. And I was like, yeah, I want to go on there. So he had conversations, and basically, you know, I was like, hey, I'd love to go on there. How can we make that happen? And we made it happen. We just talked to, you know, went down the ladder and talked to the different people. So it started with just a relationship, making sure that you were nice and you had a respect for one another. And it just so happened the guy that I grew close with on The Voice also worked on the Kelly Clarkson show. So he, shout out to him. So his name's Chris. So love him and appreciate him. So that's how it came about. And yeah.
And that's amazing because, like you said, kindness and just mutual respect, but just being genuine in it. And, you know, you were just being nice. And I think that goes to show that, like, you should be nice to everybody that you come across, because you never know where an opportunity could come. Like, you were just genuinely being nice to the guy. Like, you probably weren't expecting anything from it to be nice.
No, I didn't even know he worked on her show as well at the time, you know. I think I learned that later, and we just talked about it. And you know, like I said, I talked to her team, and her team was you know, excited, and they talked to Kelly, and Kelly was super excited, and her and I got to talk, and she, you know, was, and there's not a lot of people that go on her show. I remember having a conversation, and they're like, maybe 2 handfuls of people, maybe. And even, I don't know if I'm telling too much, but, you know, all right. But there was even someone, I won't say names, but was like, listen, man, like, there's even been A-list celebrities that she doesn't like singing with or doesn't want to sing with. And maybe there's behind the scenes. Maybe I'm saying too much. But, you know, she just was like, she's very particular on who she wants on there. And the fact that she wanted me on there was amazing. And
of course,
if I can tell a story about when I was on there that made my life. So her and I are I'm on the stage doing sound check, and she's in the back, like, just warming up and stuff. And then she comes out, we do like a run through, like a rehearsal. And we're just cracking up, cracking jokes. We both have lozenges, I can't even say that word, in our mouths to, like, you know, we're like feeling it. And she was like, man, you're loud in my ears. And I was like, oh no. She goes, and you sound so good. And I was like, and we're like literally a foot away from each other. And I was like, Kelly, don't play with me. She was like, no. She goes, normally I turn people down. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah. She goes, a lot of people can't stay on pitch, but you and Pink are like, y'all sound really good. I love it. And I was like, you're putting me in the same category as Pink? All right, cool. You just made my life. So I was like, all right, I'll receive it. I was like, don't BS me, Kelly. And she's like, I'm not. I said, all right, cool. And she didn't have him turn it down. So normally she would signal, turn him down, but she didn't.
Wow.
So I knew she was being honest.
She seems so honest and genuine. And I want to come back with what you said about her letting people on her show, right? Because she has such a huge show. It's award winning. Like, I watch the show all the time, and I love it. Like, I love watching how she interviews because it's so genuine. It seems like she's friends with all these people. And of course, you know, you can't love everybody in Hollywood. So I can understand why she probably wouldn't want some certain people on her show, but only a couple people from The Voice have really gone on the talk show. And I mean, it's such a huge genre. Plus, you were on her team. Like, you know, like, to already have that relationship with her, like, she already co-signs for you because you're on her team, and then producer. So it kind of like, it was like the stars aligned.
Yeah, for sure. I always believe everything happens for a reason. but also believe like you got to put in some of the work.
Yeah.
You can't just expect things to fall in your lap, right? So yeah, all in all, I mean, I just kept grinding, kept having conversations, and she was excited.
Yeah.
And once she found out that I was like wanting to do it, and it was one of the greatest experiences. And she is absolutely one of the sweetest. She is exactly who you feel like she is from TV, on and off camera. I mean, she is so kind. She doesn't even drive like a G-Wagon or anything. Like, she drives like a 250 Ford truck. Like, she's just a Texas girl through and through, and she's so sweet, so kind, and I loved hanging out with her. It was a fun time. I have a picture of it.
I love that you were able to have that experience. That, I mean, you were on The Voice, picked you on her team, you're friends with the producer, you know, you make friends with the producer, you're on, you know, you do the karaoke thing, you have the interview, like that is so big. And then to go back even further in our interview, you were saying how certain people had seen you on that show, the Kelly Clarkson, right? Like, oh my gosh, Corey, you're just amazing. I saw you on the show and I had to reach out to you. So what was that like? Because I mean, you were previously on The Voice, right? And you had fans for The Voice. But then I can only imagine how many new people found out about you from your appearance on her talk show.
Yeah, you know, and that's the crazy thing is when you do things like this, there's definitely mental battles and lulls and highs and peaks, as I've talked about. Like, you get this high from like The Voice and people like loving you, and then you don't know what's next. And you're like, man, that might be the highest I've ever gone, or like biggest thing I've ever done. But it's networking, communication, being kind to people, like we talked about. But going back on there and getting some new fans and like having people just, you know, validate what I'm doing, basically, because sometimes I need that. Like, am I good enough? Am I like, so having those new fans, having Glenn and Marquetta reach out, to be able to go on their tour, to do songs with them. We got to do their song, or Marquetta and I song live for the first time, and maybe the only times ever. Maybe, and unless we plan to do something again live together, but she's in Iceland. So like, we got to do that all because of The Voice. And then Kelly Clarkson show, they got to see that. So, and then some other things happen that are coming up, and new fans were reminded, and I get to be a part of something else really spectacular and fun that I'm excited about. That's happening in like 2 weeks.
What that thing is, or do you have to keep it under wraps? Okay.
Oh, I can tell you. So because again, some fans saw me on the Kelly Clarkson show, and it all happens, you know, for a reason. They reached out to me to be a part of their wedding, and some of those people are cousins of others that are on this show called The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I don't watch it, but many people do, and a lot of friends of mine do, and you know, they are getting married on the 23rd, so they are so kind, and they're like, listen, we want to make sure that we do our best to introduce you. You are not just some guy singing at our wedding. You are someone special we believe in, and we want to give you a platform, and you deserve it. That's why we want to introduce, so people know who you are, and we want the camera crew to be focused on you when it's your time. And I was like, this is y'all's wedding. Like, no, but they were so adamant and so kind, and about just making sure that one phrase they said is, the world just needs to see more of you. And I was like, oh, like, no, okay, don't make me cry. So like, it was very kind, but it's all because of that, you know, being on the Kelly Clarkson show, and them seeing me, and now I get to be on The Real Housewives of New Jersey singing at a wedding. So I get to sing like 15 songs at this thing. And like, I'll do ceremony, cocktail, and rehearsal. Or not.
That's
rehearsal,
awesome.
the reception. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm a little nervous about this one. I might be more nervous about this one than any other, to be So some people know this. Most of the voice is pre-filmed, so you kind of got that buffer. They'll EQ your voice for live, and then there's live. It's live, like it is live. So I was super nervous for that. Kelly Clarkson's show is really lax, and you can do retakes if you want. Fortunately we did one and done, but she was like, I felt good about it, but do you want to do another one? And so you kind of have that cushion, right? This is not. This is gonna be like, because it's a wedding. They're not gonna redo a thing. It's a wedding, and I'm learning songs that I never dreamed I would learn, like Billy Joel, Just the Way You Are, and I'm playing like a few other songs that I don't really know much until now. I've been practicing the crap out of them, but it makes me nervous because it's a special day. It's a wedding. It's gonna be televised. There is no cushion. There's songs that I'm not like extremely known for years, you know, so I have to be on it, so to speak, that day, and I also have to dress nice. So, like, you know, and we're going to a brunch afterwards the next day. So yeah, it's gonna be. I'm gonna people watch like never before. I hope, like, people are like, oh, there's gonna be drama. I'm like, I hope so. I'm gonna watch it. So.
Yay!
Yeah, it should
That's
be fun.
so awesome. And
for that.
it's interesting, like when you say Kelly Clarkson's more relaxed in the voice, you have other takes, and now you're learning all these new songs. So did they say, we want you to learn these specific songs? The wedding.
For Kelly Clarkson or the wedding? The wedding, yes. So it was kind of a collab. I was like, hey, have you thought about this song? And that way I could pitch songs I really knew. One being like I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles, but a very slow version, super sweet. And then they were like, well, we definitely want these songs. And I was like, okay, gotta learn those. So it was a mix. I picked some songs. I'm gonna sing some from The Voice because they loved the version that I did of Already Gone, Kelly's song. They want me to do, other songs from shows and stuff like that. So it'll be fun. I'm gonna sing 24 Karat by Bruno Mars. Wait,
are you allowed to bring your own,
so,
person recording? Because I feel like we want to see some of that.
Well, my girlfriend will be there. I'm sure she'll capture some of that. But what's really cool is some of the horns players play with Bruno Mars.
That's why.
So, yeah. It's going to be fun. I'm like, okay, I got to film this.
That's so much fun. It's only just, like, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about some of the things coming up for you. I know you have a lot coming up. I mean, September 2023. I can't believe this year is like almost over, but what amazing things do you have coming up for the rest of the next couple of months?
Yeah, so the next few months, of course, the wedding in about 2 weeks. That's a big thing. Different network, Bravo, different audience. That I have a song with Marquetta and myself. It's one of her songs that I'm featuring on. That should be coming out this month. That was the talk of the town amongst her team and I. And then I have like 2 more songs that I'm going to be putting out before the end of the year. Most of my fans know them already. To a degree, they know which ones because I can't help but tease things. But it's going to be Favorite Things and a song called Wasn't Enough. So I have a total of 3 more songs coming out. But Favorite Things, we're going to do a special thing, and Marquetta's going to feature on it. So it'll be like basically 4 songs. It'll be 4 songs.
Yeah, I feel like you have so much going on between the live shows and the house. Like, you have so much going on with the singles, and then something else is possibly coming next year.
Well, even before that, I forgot to say I am supposed to be going back on the Kelly Clarkson show November or December. We are in talks of it, trying to tighten up the date. But that was the last conversation, was like, we definitely want to have you back to sing one of your own songs. And it's going to be November, December. And then next year, as you talked about, I am starting to work on and plan on putting out a full-length album. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be different than all of these singles. There will still be there will of course be emotional things, songs, but I really want to put out some fun stuff too, like good vibes, and also real stories. Like one song's going to be, a lot of them will be about family members. Like one that I'm writing is about my sister. But I want to just write real stories and real life songs that I know that people can relate to. So yeah, that's coming next year, if everything comes together.
I'm sure it will. You have a lot going on for the rest of the year, and then with, you know, everything with the wedding and Kelly Clarkson show and the album. I mean, I feel like you are just rocking. Like there's no stopping you.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, part of this whole thing, Joel McHale was on the same episode of Kelly Clarkson. If you don't know who that is, he's a comedian, an actor, and he's been on many TV shows and many different, I mean, he's all over. And one of the things that he told me, and other, you know, celebrities have told me that I've talked to, is the most people that don't make it are the ones that just stop. And, you know, that's why I'm grinding the way that I am, is because, one, I never stop. Like, why would I? Love it? It's my outlet. It's been my saving grace for so long. Music is everything to me, and you know, I'm just never going to stop. And he's like, the people that just give up, they don't make it. And you think about it, Chris Stapleton didn't break through until he was in his 40s. I forget who it was, but somebody was talking about an actor that didn't break through until he was in his 60s. You know, there is no limit, and there is no boundary on when, where, and how this all can happen. You're not ever too young, and you're never too old to make a dream come true and to do what you love. And so I've been hard at work, and I'm going to continue that until I am not.
But I love what you said about just like doing this because you genuinely love it. And yeah, I know what you mean about certain actors or certain people breaking at a certain age. There was some post on LinkedIn about like Oprah at this age, and you know, all these other people, and some of these people might do something in their 50s, 60s, or 70s, and you're like, oh my gosh, but that's so far away. But as you've been grinding and as we watch your journey, people have seen you on The Voice, people have seen you on Kelly Clarkson, people are streaming you on Spotify, people are seeing you, you know, do all these shows. And that's the thing, is like, when you keep going and keep grinding, you never know who's in the audience. You never know who's going to send you that, because sometimes some of your biggest fans are just like watchers, and then all of a sudden they're just like, oh my God, I've been watching this person for a couple months, and then they decide to reach out because they see maybe you're doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. In this industry, it's all about, and I'm dead serious, if people want to know the key ingredients to this industry, it's being kind, networking, getting to know people, and like taking those chances, and just never stopping. Like, that's the thing. I had a thought. Somebody told me, but I lost it. I'm terrible at this. Yeah, so I mean, it's a matter of just doing those things, and networking, and just never stopping in that realm. If you love what you do, just keep doing it. Because you never, like you said, you never know who's watching. And because of somebody watching the Kelly Clarkson show, I got another opportunity. Because of this, I got that opportunity. Because of that, I got this opportunity. So I'm blessed, like I said, from the start.
Keep grinding, and we love watching your success. I personally love being on this journey with you because it's so amazing. I'm just like, what's Corey up to now? And then you rattle off a list of like 13 things. I'm like, okay, that means I need to work harder.
Yeah. Well, and everybody's got their journey and their path. I mean, it's networking, right? Like, for real, you never know who you're going to run into. And it's always a no if you never ask, right? If you never ask, it's always going to be a no. I mean, like I said, that producer I built a relationship with, but I was like, hey, I'd love to be on the Kelly Clarkson show. Like, how are we going to make that happen? He's like, yeah, we would love to have you on there. So, and even if I didn't talk to him for 3 months, guess what? I talked to him after that. I was like, hey, man, remember when we talked about this? And, you know, it's networking and grinding.
So you actually asked
him
about the Kelly Clarkson show. You said, I want to be on the show. Was that what you said?
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was a mix. He mentioned it, but he didn't mention it like directly. He was like, yeah, I work with the Kelly Clarkson show. Man, love to have you sometime. And it was like so passing and so quick. And I was like, huh, yeah, man. And then later, I was like, hey, dude, like, I'd love to be on the Kelly Clarkson show. How can we make this happen? So people always wonder, how'd you do that? And I'm like, I just asked. And you just gotta ask. Like, it's always a no.
I love that. I think that's so important in life, whether you're an artist, musician, whatever field you're in. Like, if you don't ask, it's always a no. But guess what? Like, you have to be okay with that rejection, because you could have asked. I mean, yes, he said it first, but you could have asked and he could have been like, nah, man. But maybe it would have been a yes 2 or 3 months after that. You know what I mean? And perfect example, your first son voice, right?
Yeah.
You had a blind audition and they said no, and they said, come on back. And most people at that point would be like, oh my gosh, like, I gotta know. But you took that criticism and feedback and you're like, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show them. And like, I remember when you came back for your season, I was like, oh my God, I remember him. I'm so happy he came back. And you destroyed it. So I think like, you are like, when it comes to perseverance and just doing things and breaking down doors, like, you are the perfect example of that, and it's so very powerful. So thank you, Corey.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I mean, yeah. I don't know what to say.
But I feel like,
grateful,
you know, talking about this with you, like, watching your journey, and like the people that are watching this with us right now, like, when they're going through difficult times, like, ask the question, and if it's a no now, ask again in 6 months. Like, you can do what you need to do. Like, believe in your dreams and don't give up. Like sometimes in this industry you will hear 99 no's, but maybe it is yes.
For sure. Yeah. And that's all it takes is that one yes. I mean, like, I'm 37. I haven't, like, I've heard so many no's, like, but I'm never going to give up. Like I said, from the beginning of our conversation, I'm always going to do music. It might just be in my bedroom, or it might be on a huge stage. Still going to be the same to me, because I've been doing it for 20 years. Like, that's the part of it. Just keep going.
Keep going. Believe in your dreams. Whatever your dreams are, you can do it, as long as you're being true to yourself and just you love it, because you love music, and that's why you continue to do what you do. So just lean into what you love and keep on going.
Yeah, for sure. That is what I try and inspire anyone that ever wants to listen to me talk. Never give up, and chase your dreams, man. Chase, like, even if it's not a dream, like, even if it's just a goal, and sometimes it's one step at a time, because a lot of the times too, we can have something so high that it seems so far away that we're like, we're tired. We try, and then we get tired. Maybe I don't. Well, if you get to that point, maybe you just, you know what? I want to be this famous painter. All right, well, guess what? I'm going to paint one painting that I love. Oh, great. All right, I'm going to paint a few for my family. Oh, they love it. Okay. I'm going to paint one for my coffee shop. Oh, okay, that's one goal. That's the next step. And if you just keep going at that, sometimes you got to view it that way, because, you know, once we put, I'm going to chase my dream, and that dream seems so far away, sometimes you got to build those steps to that dream. And the end goal is the same, but just like me, I still play at bars locally that maybe 10 people show up, but then I still play TV shows. Like, it doesn't make sense to like someone. It's like, wait, what? But that is the way it is, and that's just how you get to those places. You have to continue to take those steps. So for those that feel like there is nothing left, or you're tired of chasing that dream, surround yourself with people that will lift you up, support you, love you, and then never stop. Find those little goals and those little steps to continue that journey to your dream. So even if it's just like, it doesn't have to be music. It doesn't have to be acting. It doesn't have to be in the industry realm. It could be just being a dentist. Like, what? And that's a big deal. Like, when I say just being a dentist, that's not just being a dentist. You want to be a dentist, that's a big deal. I need dentistry work. Let's go. Like, it doesn't matter what that is. If you love it, it brings you joy inside, not happiness. I think you and I have talked about this before, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling. But happiness is fleeting. When you base your life on happiness, you are going to fall. And so many people say, I just want to be happy. You have to find joy, a foundational joy. And because happiness, I can be happy that I have some ice cream in my hand, and then you knock it out, and I'm immediately, my happiness has gone out the window. And if I base my life on that pure emotion and that foundation, then it's always going to sink. But if I base it and find what really brings me joy and fills my cup up, find those outlets, find those people that help fill my cup up and bring me joy with pure, authentic, genuine love, then I can conquer the world. Like,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think people need to lean into things that bring joy, like things that make you happy. Maybe going on walks makes you happy. Maybe doing yoga makes you happy, right? And you're like, oh my God, I love going to yoga every Wednesday. And maybe it makes you so happy you eventually become a yoga teacher. So I think it's being honest with yourself and saying, like, where do I find the most joy? Like, nobody can tell you what's best for you. You have to go inside yourself and say, like, this is what drives me. And then, that's what truly makes you happy. So those are the goals that you make. And I love what you talked about, breaking down steps, right? Like doing shows, small shows, maybe 10 people are there, but then maybe you're opening up for somebody else at, an 800 person venue. Like, I think it's important because there's always going to be those ebbs and flows and ups and downs where you're just like, oh my gosh, like I want to be on the high, but everyone's life is a roller coaster. You're going to have the highs, you're going to have the lows. And it's like, who are you when you hit the lows?
Yeah, you can't, and it's setting those expectations and boundaries. And there's so much I could talk about because I love leadership and I love like all these just different angles about it. But like, setting the expectations and boundaries in your life. Like I said, surrounding yourself with people that love and support you, and those steps. Like your expectations on yourself sometimes can be too hard. Like I said, The Voice, if I put all my eggs in that basket, my expectations were, I'm going to go on this worldwide known show and it's going to make my career. And that was my expectation. I'm done because it did not happen that way. And for so many, it doesn't. For a majority, it doesn't. So just making sure those steps are reachable and they keep climbing to your goal and your dream, whatever.
So powerful because everybody's journey will be so different, but always keep striving and pushing. And if you love it and it brings you joy, you will get there. But it's also the journey. It's not just like sprinting to the finish line. It's that journey, because that journey ultimately makes you who you are. Like, you have a story unlike anybody else, right? Like, your story is your story, but that's your story. Yeah. And you wouldn't be where you are today if it wasn't for those ebbs and flows in your life.
Yeah, and so many people will think failures will define them, but it builds you. It doesn't define you. So when life doesn't go the way you expected, or when you fail at something, learn and grow from it and get back up. And that's the thing. It's way easier said than done. Like I'm saying, like these all sound like pretty words and like, oh, great advice, Corey, great advice, Ashley. But there's a realness to that. Like you truly, when you fail, it's not really failing. It's just a moment of recognition and growth and an opportunity to grow. And that's the thing that we battle is we beat ourselves up so much when something doesn't happen the way we thought it should, or look or feel or whatever it may be. But we're all on a journey, like you said. We're all on a journey. We're all in this together. We're all fighting our own demons. We're all trying to figure out this thing called life. And it's when you truly find those people and family and friends, maybe not even family, to be real, but those people that love you and support you without draining you.
Find a tribe and
yeah.
hold them close. Friends, families, maybe you need to make new connections because sometimes, you gotta, if you have connections in your life that are no good, you gotta push them over to the side and make room for new connections. So, Corey, for all the beautiful people watching right now who love and support you, can you tell them how they can support you on your musical journey?
Yeah, I mean, the best ways right now is, of course, streaming all the songs that I have out from even the voice days from the beginning to the latest songs that I've done. And not only stream them, share them with people. If they impacted you or if you like them or if you just vibe to it, share it with all your friends and family. Spread it like a wildfire because I can do it more the more that it grows. Like it'll help me provide to keep going. Also, along with that, merch. Getting merch on my link tree. On my link tree on my Instagram has everything, every outlet you would need. But getting merch, I got new merch that came out recently, and it's to every song. And then Corey Ward brands, I got a little bit of everything. To coffee cups, T-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, hats. I mean, all kind of stuff. Stickers, and then Patreon. I like some of them are on here that are Patreons. So if you want to become a member, you get behind the scenes looks, maybe early releases of music or demos even. So Patreon, merch, stream, come to live shows if I'm in your area, come and support. And I'd love to meet you anyway. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already. Obviously, we're on Instagram, but share it with friends, whatever it may be. But I think that's the best way.
Yes.
Am I leaving out anything that
so
you
for
know?
merch, guys, I know this might be a little too early, but we need to buy holiday gifts. And I'm just saying that you don't want to be doing your holiday shopping at the very last minute. So merch for holiday shopping is going to be amazing. So go and buy that merch up. We want to help you sell all this merch out so you can get new merch.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. And
I
guys,
like
yeah, we're in September, but the holidays will be here before we know it. So don't wait till the last minute to do your shopping because no one wants to be doing the shopping the day before.
No, I'm already thinking about presents for Christmas because I'm terrible at it. And if I don't start now,
so guys,
then
go
I'll
buy
forget.
all the merch up. And I'm sure new merch is coming for the new music.
Yeah, actually, for the new music, we're probably going to start working on that soon-ish. And then, yeah, I mean, there's not an ounce of time that I'm not trying to put out something in some way, shape, or form. I'm even going to start putting out more content on all my platforms because I need to. So, all the things I'm trying to really go at and get to it.
That. Well, Corey, that's all the questions I have for you this evening. But guys, don't go anywhere because Corey, you're gonna sing a couple songs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much time you want to do. I can do one or two.
I mean, it's totally up to you, and I can rock out with you however long you want. But I know we're kind of cutting it close on time, so.
Yeah, I'll just do I'll do one, and I guess I'll do my original. One of them. It sounds best acoustically than all my other ones, so I'll do Love Note. Love Note to You, the one about my girlfriend that I wrote, and basically our relationship. But I think it's really cool. It could be a good wedding song. And I've already had some people say that it's actually the same story. They're very relatable. It says sharing coffee on our first date, like that line. Or my favorite line is, "I'm down to leave the party early because I like to go to bed early." So or try to at least. I don't sleep well, but I try to. So I'll sing that one if that's okay. Cool. Here we go. I had reservations in my head. I wasn't sure that love was meant for me. Oh, then you came along, and I knew this was strong from the first time that we meet. Flights back and forth just to see how it goes. How could we have ever known this love could begin from something like this? But I'm so glad it did. 'Cause you gave me hope again. This is my love note to you, my best friend. Oh, I want you forever, for the rest of our lives. This is my love note to you. Yeah, I'll do that one. That's it for now.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Honestly,
I don't want to go
if you
over
want to go for
time.
another 5-10 minutes, I'm totally fine. It's up to you. However you're feeling.
All right, I'll finish the song, I guess. There's second verse, everyone. Here we go. See, I love this. This is the part of non-perfection, but also humanizing life. Here we go. Sharing coffee on our first date. I won't remember the taste, but I can't forget your face. Feels so natural with you when it's just us two. This love feels too good to be true. I'm down to leave the party early, as long as you're my company. I don't care where we go, 'cause for me, you're my home. We're added to our memories. 'Cause you gave me hope again. This is my love note to you, my best friend. Oh, I want you forever, for the rest of our lives. I want you forever for the rest of our lives. This is my love note to you. This is my love note to you.
Guys,
Yeah.
do you want to do that 25-second teaser that we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah. So we talked about a little teaser for next year. One of the songs we were working on for the new album that hopefully comes out next year, and it's called Traveler. We pull it up, and this is that style of just something a little more on the fun vibes. And yeah, it's not finished, but here's a little teaser for it. So here we go. She wasn't down the base coach, but she will make it work. If all that she had was a hope for her, then she made damn sure that no one can see just how hard things were. She's just a traveler. She's just a traveler. Yeah. Just a little bit there.
Yeah.
Can I talk
Of
about the
course.
lyrics? Because it might be hard to hear. So that is the song that I talked about, is about my sister. So it's about my sister. She's I have two. She's the middle child. But the song's called Traveler. And basically what it's about is that road to happiness, that road to joy and all that. And she had to go through a lot. And she tried every path in the world to find that joy and that happiness, right? So I decided to write a song about being a traveler, and it's about her. So the words that you may or may not heard says, she wasn't dealt with the best cards, but she would make it work. If all that she had was a hopeful heart, she would make damn sure that no one could see just how hard things were. And it says she's just a traveler. So it's just that story of like, sometimes you don't have the best cards, and life's hard, and there's no easy path, but you make it work, like it says. And then even if you just have a hopeful heart, she'd make sure that nobody could see how hard things were. And that's her story. Like, she is living proof of that. So yeah, I think it's a cool song, cool concept. I'm really excited about it. And yeah, that's a little piece
Thank
of
you
the
so
new
much
album idea.
for playing that and sharing that with us. I know people are very excited for this album to come. Guys, you got to wait till next year. We got to finish 2023 out. But Corey, thank you so much for coming back on my show. This is always such an honest, vulnerable, amazing conversation. I feel like we could do this for hours and hours and hours. And I'm so very appreciative of you coming back on my show and you know, just telling people what it's really like, because I feel like so many people fake at what it is to be a musician, but you like literally laid on the line, and we're so very grateful for that. So Corey, any final words for the room?
It's kind of just to sum up what we've all talked about, is just even whenever you see somebody on this big stage and national television show, it's not always easy, and it's never a break. I'm a normal Joe at day to day, and I'm grinding my butt off to just do what I love and pay the bills, and know that, like, you know, for those that are having hardships, like, they'll pass, and it's all about what we talked about, is just surrounding yourself with loved ones and finding that joy and staying positive. I'll say this. You never know how much your brain can affect your entire body. I was, short story, I promise. I was eating, and I was feeling fine. And then I started thinking about the shows opening for Glenn Hansard. And immediately I got nauseous and lost my appetite. All because I thought of being nervous. it affected my entire body. And I say that because as we go through life, sometimes we have to just choose positivity. We have to choose how we approach and what we can control. All the circumstances around us, sometimes we can't control them. So whoever you are, whoever needs to hear this, stay positive. Like, love people well, be kind, surround yourself with those same kind of people, and you'll make everything that you need to happen, and even reach your dreams and goals. So, yeah,
Whoa,
I don't want to
okay,
cry.
please, I don't want to cry either. Mic drop. Corey, this was so amazing. Please come back on my show. Like I told you earlier, anytime you want to promote a song or anything, the album, because I love having you on the show, and I'm so very grateful for you. And I know this community absolutely loves and adores you. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow my guy, Corey Ward. And if you're new here, I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. Corey, like I said, so very grateful of you. Appreciate you so much. Keep grinding. Stay positive. We love being on this journey with you. Have a wonderful evening. And guys, we will see you next time. Thanks again, Corey. Of course.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.